Marrying somebody on the basis that they know how to run up debt is not wise. Marry them because they have the determination, skills, motivation to take down debt.
Which this huge mess becomes a blessing to your family generationally.
So here we have, sounds like he's 28 also, in his late 20s, which is, common because they're looking at getting married. And he's got a woman who's a veterinarian, and she's bringing a nice hefty $350,000 gold bar to the wedding altar. What's up with all you guys are looking for these women with just, $250,000, near $500,000 in debt? Whew.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on the $350,000 fine.
Wow.
So I guess I really just wanted to call. I've been I'm new to the show, new to you guys, but I've been doing date-like things for the last 3 to 4 years, and was just curious what your advice would be in regards to how we can plan to make those repayments once we get married, as well as how we would prioritize that against other large life purchases such as a house, vehicles, things along those lines.
Oh, to be young and carefree with love, where money is merely an object that bloweth in the wind. Okay, well, I know I'm not Mr. Ramsey, but you know me, I do like to have the first say here if I can, to see if I'm, accurate or not. Okay, $350,000. Honey, you have already bought the house. You're talking about buying a house? She comes with the house. The only problem is you don't actually live in this house. Sally Mae lives in the house. All right, so we have here a $350,000 home, or in the case of my condo, 3.5 of my $100,000 condos. Okay, the car you're looking for, the car's wrapped in this too. So she comes with a car that you can't drive and a house that you can't live in. You have to admire the innocence of young love. They almost say it like they were ordering a Starbucks. Ramsey, I'd like to know what I could get on my, I don't even drink coffee, so pardon me here. I'm only using words that I've heard, but I'd like to know what I could get on my chocolate cappuccino. Should I have it with whole milk or skim milk? How might I best have it served to me, in a hot glass or a paper glass? Okay, young love seems almost naively, if it didn't deal with $350,000, their naivety would almost be considered Romeo and Juliet-like cute. Of course, we all know what happened to Romeo and Juliet in the end, right? We all know that, right? So I just have to listen, and the tone is just so carefree. To those of us that are older, we're looking at this and going, to be a vet? I don't know what it takes to be a vet. I guess I could Google it and find out, but from my experience and watching other financially disastrous shows, that seems like $350,000 is a really big stretch. But you got to admire the young love in him. And it's just so casual, to the wind, What should we do? She comes with the house. She comes with the car. She even comes with a pet chihuahua if you want a pet. For $350,000, all right, you can get all this. There, she comes with it. You don't need to go looking for it. But young love shall take care of all this. You have to respect the innocence, right? Okay, that was a long pause for Dave Ramsey. For those of you that might just be listening to this on your morning walk, Dave Ramsey currently has his head in his hand. His elbows are on the table. He's stooped over, looking kind of lost. I think it's John who's sitting next to him. Doesn't look much better. They both look like they're in a little bit of pain. And the only two people that are happy right now, or at least the one person that seems to be happy, is the guy calling in looking for young love.
It's a hard one, man. How much debt do you have outside of that 350?
All right, people, bet time. All right, take your bets. What are we all betting on? What are we betting on? All right, you got your bets? All right, here we do it. Oh, my bet. It's if I go with history, okay, if I'm going to go purely with history here, all right? Seems like whenever one person calls in about the debt of another person, it's usually because the one person that called in is the one that has little to no debt, and there is sort of a concern about the other person with the debt. So if we go on this particular track, okay, the one that has the debt does not call, and the one that the one that has the debt doesn't call, but is the one that should be calling. And the one that doesn't have the debt is the one that's calling, because there is a subliminal part of them that's going, hey, you know what? There might just be a problem here. So let's see. So I say he has maybe a little bit because he's 28, but overall I'm going to say his budget is a whole lot better than hers, because he's concerned about this $350,000 gold bar that he's about ready to marry.
How much debt are you going to bring into this relationship?
Nothing. Completely debt free.
Oh!
I've been saving and investing for quite some time. I have about $21,000 in cash, $50,000 in my personal savings plan, or TSP, and 401k, and then as well as about an investment portfolio of $110,000.
Why could I not have been like that instead of a shopaholic? Just trying to find my way through mental health issues. Holy cow. And you notice that list just kept going on and on and on. So now that brings me to a question. Why this woman? Why her? Now, I'm not saying that she is not worthy of love and attention. I'm not saying she's not worthy of a relationship or anything else, but I would have to ask, why her? What has she done that so mesmerized you? Because I'm looking at the two of them already. Come on, people, we know where this is going already, okay? Already. What has she done that has proven to him that she is worth everything he's got? Whew, I need a fan. Before I go veering on and on, okay, we'll just continue on here. But man, the tea is hot tonight.
Okay. That's helpful. What do you do? What do you make?
That's helpful. Dave's like, that's helpful. Oh, Mike, helpful? No. It is every superlative we can think of. It is stupendous, magnificent, euphorically fantastic. Not helpful. Okay, if she drops her student loan, that's currently $350,000, if she could drop that by $25,000, that would be helpful.
So currently this year, I just got back from a 9-month deployment, so I'm going to make somewhere around 107 this year, and then on track to make like 135 next year.
What? Oh. Why did I have to be so messed up at the same age? Do you ever hear, guys, whenever you hear people with this much success at such a young age, and then you look at your own life and all the crappy things and decisions that you made, the things you went through, this is when I have to remind myself, we all have our own life experience, and not all of us, obviously we don't experience the same thing, and the experiences that we go through, some of us are effed up in our 20s, and others of us have financial successes like this young man. Oh my Lord. And he said, you know what? I have fallen in love with a woman with $350,000 worth of student loans who could wipe out everything I have. It's just a thought. And again, I'm not saying that she isn't worth it, but I would like to know, what did she do that makes him think that everything he's got and has, that she's worth dropping all of it on? Because from all of her debt, if he pays off all her debt, from what I can tell, he's going to be from $0 to even perhaps owing dollars. She's sitting on $350,000. This is a car, a house, the pet chihuahua, all right?
Projection-wise.
Okay. And so obviously you're military. Thank you for your service.
Yes, absolutely. We have military people in our family. Thank you for your service as well. I absolutely agree.
Appreciate it.
All right. Here's the thing. The number one cause of divorce in North.
We all know what it is. Everybody say it. Money. I don't even have to play it to know that. It's money. Number one cause of divorce.
America, money fights and money problems, money stress. You are walking into a mess.
No. See, Ramsey's not using enough superlatives here. She's walking into a SHI you know what show. Not today. Not right after the wedding. It's going to be after the 2 kids come and that student loan isn't paid down. And there starts to become a feeling of, I'm working for all this. And what is the wife doing other than bringing her $350,000 worth of student loans? This could be a 2-hour episode. I'm going to try hard not to make it a 2-hour episode because I do know some people exercise to this video, and God knows I eventually want them to be able to walk home. I want to keep you guys not exercising all morning. All right.
She has made an unbelievably large mess.
No. We don't have enough superlatives. You see, I teach English. She's made a draconian-sized mess.
And you guys have, as part of your pre-marriage counseling, have got to, because you have an unusually large mess, you've got to go unusually deep in your relationship and in your agreement on what our short-term and long-term future looks like.
He says because you have an unusually large mess. No. His mess, he got his crap together. He's fine. She has the mess. She's the one with the debt. I have to be honest, okay? What is in it with some of these young guys thinking that a woman with $350,000, I don't know, young or old, I don't really care, okay? That a woman or anybody, we could reverse the sexes, okay? But we're going to stick to what this situation is, okay? So don't think it couldn't be reversed, all right? But what is it, with the blinders on, it seems? This is so lopsided. I would have to ask, what does she bring to the table other than a really good time and really beautiful looks? What does she bring that makes you think that this woman is worth a sacrifice? This is an unbelievable amount of debt. If the average debt, what is it? They said the average debt in the United States right now is about 40,000. I think it's about 39,000 is the average student loan debt. This is 350,000, and don't forget the interest. Don't forget the interest, and don't forget the monthly payment. Monthly payment, 1, 2, 3. You're probably looking at about a $4,000 a month monthly payment if it's not income based. $4,000 a month. See, when you start looking at this, it really changes young love, doesn't it? I'm looking about 4,000, so about 1,000 for every 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 4,000, possibly closer to 4,500. And that's if she never misses a beat in payment, ever misses a beat. I don't know rich veterinarians, so maybe this is like totally acceptable to veterinarians, but I've seen enough financial shows to kind of be able to gauge that this seems off the chart.
If she says, if she's going to play, and I have no idea, okay, but there's kind of 2 ends of the spectrum here. If she's going to roll up her sleeves and be blue collar and go, oh my God, we've made a mess.
He keeps saying we. No, she's made a mess. We ain't we until we marry.
We're going to dive on this thing. We're going to fix this thing. I'm going to work like a maniac. I'm going to work with every sick puppy in an 800-mile radius as a veterinarian. I'm going to work my tail end off, and I'm going to make $200,000 a year while you make $100,000 a year. And we're going to put your $100,000 out of your investments towards this, and we're going to clean this stinking mess up
in 3, 4, 5 years. Let's hear it, Dave.
in 2 years.
Oh, I was wrong. We're down to 2 years. We're going to clean this up in 2 years because taxes and other things don't ever come along, right? We're going to clean this up in 2 years.
Now you got a woman you can marry.
Well, I would assume that this would be done before you married her. You know how I told you guys don't base your money on, I should make this. Well, don't base your future spouse on, well, she should be able to pay it off. I think she can pay it off. She should be able to work hard. You don't know any of that. You don't know any of that, right?
If she's like, oh, well, it might take us 30 years and I don't really want to work that much.
It will. It will. Okay. I'm going to play, not devil's advocate, but I'm going to play pessimist, because when we're talking these type of dollars, we need to see the pessimistic side. Here's the pessimistic side. She'll work her ass off until she gets married enough to convince him to marry her. And then about, I don't know, few months to maybe on the good graces, a couple of years into the marriage, at least until the first kid pops out, then it's going to be, well, I can't clean this whole debt up. There is no way they're going to have this debt cleaned up in 2 years. No, absolutely no way. Not unless he's going to drain his money before he marries her. I'm telling him, run. Like, I would get him a bathing suit, okay, a really good bathing suit. I'd tell him to put it on and swim away. I've said it before, and I'm going to crawl it across and say it again. Until a person has proven to you how hard they are willing to work, until they have shown you that they can take their debt down, it doesn't mean they have to clear their debt off, but it means, hey, you know what? I have the ability on my own to financially handle my debt and take it down. I think until a person has done that, I'm sorry, I think it's difficult to marry them, because you don't know how hard they're actually willing to work. I had $110,000 student loan, and granted, it was taken, and I want to thank the John Q. Public, okay, for the public service, but I have also spent, I'm in my 18th year in a middle school classroom. However, I did take steps to follow the PSLF rules. That's the public service loan forgiveness rules. I made sure I was up on top of it. Okay. I did my due diligence in following, my paperwork trail. And then when I got a mortgage, I purchased half the cost of what I could actually afford so I could pay it off. I held on to, I picked up a second job, about 10 hours a week at work, and I still do it today. I have no intentions of leaving it as of this time. I mean, I'm constantly showing that this is what I do. Has she shown him this? I think, men, I'm going to talk to the guys out there, straight to the guys. I wouldn't be so quick on the bandwagon to marry a woman who's only proven to you that she's good at running up a student loan debt. Any idiot can run up a student loan debt, myself included, so I'm a part of that idiot group. Anybody can. Okay, anybody. Private loans, federal loans, to private school, state school, out-of-state school, it doesn't matter. And I would tell this young man, marrying somebody on the basis that they know how to run up debt is not wise. Marry them because they have the determination, skills, motivation to take down debt. And you need to actually see it going down. If 2 years later, she doesn't have the ability to drop the debt on her own, that tells you something. That means you are going to have to suffer. And this video is just a year ago. So this was during the moratorium, or actually about the moratorium spinoff, just about the time the moratorium was starting to roll off, okay? Because September 1st, 2023, and it's only October, so just a little over a month ago, student loan interest started back up, okay? So marrying a woman simply because she's proven to you, hey, I can run up debt really well. See, watch me run up $350,000 of student loans. Don't I look beautiful doing it? And then you go, oh my God, that's a woman of my dreams right there. I want her. And again, I'm not saying she's not worthy of love, yada, yada, okay? But I would not have blamed a guy if he had said to me, sorry, Carrie, I really don't want a woman with $110,000 worth of debt. I said, I understand. Then I go cry in a corner somewhere with my hanky, but hey, you know what? He has that right to say that.
I went and spent $350,000 to become a veterinarian, but I'm not going to veterinary much.
Oh, that's something else. Yeah, she could decide she doesn't want to do it. She wants to be an SAHM, stay-at-home mom. Oh, by the way, I did a Ramsey reaction video I think it was yesterday, about a woman who divorced her husband, and she was a stay-at-home mom, divorced her husband, and I guess she's kind of broke, perhaps regretting it. Who knows? All right. So yeah, things can change. You think you've married a woman that is going to worky until this debt is paid off and you're all in partnership, you're ready to go, and boom, she gets pregnant, 6 months, a year or so after you get married. I don't know when, but whenever that moment happens, and all of a sudden it's, oh no, I can't work anymore. I would have she's got more than 3 times the debt that I came in with. Of course, I'm 56, but still.
Run.
Yeah, no, she's definitely fantastic, and
Of course she's fantastic. All she's had to do is sleep with you and run up a whole bunch of debt. Any woman could do that. Seriously. Any woman can do that. It's true. That's all she's had to do so far. Maybe they believe in monogamy till marriage, but okay. I might be jumping the gun there, but come on. She ain't proved nothing. The only game she's proven is how to get you to fall in love with her beauty, her ability to say she's going to make promises to you. But there are no promises fulfilled yet. Hell, I would at least wait. Heck, I would at least wait until she has a full-time veterinarian job. Let's see how long that takes. You get into a full-time veterinarian job, sister. You work that job 60 hours a week. Okay, you work that job 60 hours a week. Every penny you make, you put it towards your debt. I will pay for your living and all of that. Seriously, I will pay for your cost of living. Every penny you make, you put it towards that debt. 10% for your personal needs. And do it for a year and let's see how it goes. Does she complain while doing it? Does she go, oh my Lord, this is just too hard? See, I talked about it earlier in a prior video, and I said the thrill of graduation and running up the debt. Well, let me back up. Working when you are in school to earn that diploma, you tend to put your best foot forward. Why? Because you want that diploma. But working after the diploma is done, the party is over, and you're applying at Starbucks to go along with your full-time job because you have to pay the bill, that's a total different game. The two are not the same. So marrying a woman, and again, this could be reversed, but we're going to keep to the facts of this story. Marrying a woman because you love her work ethic while she is a student, running up debt, and she's excited about graduation and the diploma and the cap and the gown and the lobster dinner she's going to have, and maybe the trippers she and her parents are going to go on as a reward. That's a total different type of motivation you're seeing. Do not confuse the two. It's totally different once the party is over. It's kind of like this. Think of it like this. Think of it like a baby shower. Having the baby, everybody gathers around, they look at the pictures, yada yada, and then take that same scene and now stand in line at family court with 2 little kids under the age of 5. You see? When the party is over and the raising actually has to be done, it's a total different story. When the graduation is over and the paying off the debt has to be done, it's a totally different story. The woman that he's in love with now, before I'm assuming she does not have a job yet. That's what I'm assuming. Before she has a full-time job, and even if she has a full-time job, has she paid off anything of that student loan? Because this student loan, I guarantee you, is a minimum of $4,000 a month if it's a dime, just to meet the interest. And I'm not sure, and again, I don't know the cost of what veterinarians, I don't know how much veterinarians make, but if the first $4,000 goes to the interest of this student loan, all right, think about that. Men, do not confuse a woman working hard, okay, when she's in school to be the same woman who will put that effort when she's out of school. And all of a sudden, she's working at Target and she's doing her full-time job in a career she may or may not have majored in. These are two totally different categories. Don't confuse them. And certainly don't marry based on it.
I know she's fantastic. That wasn't what I asked.
Exactly.
So is she all in, brother?
Is she in on the work?
Oh, of course she's going to tell you she's in. She potentially has a free ride scholarship called the sucker who's going to marry her. I'm sorry, but you see, part of me looks at these guys as just suckers. Okay, it's kind of like this, all right? I think of it kind of like this. You think about Hollywood and, your Kim Kardashians and all of that stuff, okay? These women that walk around, their push-up bras, too much makeup, their fake hair, eyelashes, and, yet they can get some of the wealthiest men, to give them their attention. And then all of a sudden she dumps the guy, okay? And the guy's left, stranded and broke and whatnot. And I'm thinking, well, what type of woman were you chasing? I mean, what did you expect from her, okay? You chose someone that lacked certain qualities that you need for a relationship. Well, here, just because someone can run up a, crap, this is well over. She said between $250,000, $500,000 student loan. Okay, that's not the qualities that you should be judging marriage off of. You need to see how she is after she's married. After she's married. Then you'll get an idea. But you can at least get a taste of it if you're willing to wait a year or two and see how hard she's willing to work. And how easily will she give her money to you? Okay? If you tell her, hey, I'm going to pay for all your housing needs. Your housing needs are covered. All you're going to do is be a vet. All right? Full time. I want you to work extra if you can. And if it's safe for the cats and dogs. We don't need tired vets, okay? Playing with Fifi and Muffy or giving them medication, okay? So we have to think common sense here, okay? It's like pilots that are driving tired. We don't need that, okay? But work as many hours as you doably can and safely with the animals, okay? And turn it all over to the family. To turn it all over to our bank account. Does she do that willingly? Or do you start hearing signs of, well, this is my money. I worked for it. Ah, there's a sign. There's lots of things that need to be found out before you get married. And that may take a year or two.
Part.
She's in on the work part.
Of course she is.
When she looks at the grand amount, our heart kind of pounds a little bit. So
Good.
I definitely think that it's something that's on the tip of her mind. But with our
On the tip of her mind? Hell, it should be front dinner plate at every meal.
goals.
What branch of the military are you in?
Years. Navy, sir. Yep.
What do you do?
Congratulations.
So I'm in the reserves, actually. So I'm a supply guy in the Navy, and then I work in the oil and gas field as a program manager. So
Gotcha. Okay, this is a program to be managed. It's exactly what this is.
And I'm going to play pessimist. Sorry for me playing pessimist, but I'm 56 and I don't have time for all the crap, but let's pretend, okay? He's military. Military can have one hell of a career if they gear their career correctly. Guess what she sees in the future? Men, this is what you need to wake up to before you lay down your life on the line for someone that may or may not work out. She's not going to F this up. She's going to say what needs to be said. She's going to have him hear what he wants to hear. She's going to do, at least in the short run, what needs to be done. I'm sorry if this sounds really pessimistic. I mean, feel free to leave your comments, okay? I'm cool with it. She's not dumb. She has $350,000 in student loans. She's got a guy with zero debt, comes in basically with a six-figure account and then some, and he's military. And he may say he's reserves, but come on, he could change to climb up the military, which is also a lot of job stability. It may require a lot of moving, but there's a whole lot of financial stability. She's not stupid. Guys, this is what you need to see. I'm not saying she isn't the love of your life today, but what has she proven? What has she done to be the love of your life tomorrow?
And here's the deal. The deeper you sacrifice in hours of work and in lack of lifestyle, the faster this mess goes away. The faster this mess goes away, the higher the probability is that it's going to go away and you don't crash in the middle of it. And the faster it goes away, obviously, the faster you can go become very, very wealthy.
Ain't no wealth going to happen until they figure out how to keep from building $4,000 a month in interest. Let's get real here. You're looking at about $100,000 a month in interest if it is a dime. If it is a dime. I would not, I would tell him until this gets down to a six-figure debt, 100,000. Okay? I wouldn't touch it. With all the income he has, I would take it down to at least 100,000. She's got to get that bill down to 100,000. And if he finds he's the only one paying on the bill, right? 100,000. When the bill gets down to $100,000, then I'll marry you. Until then, you will sacrifice and you will put towards the marriage pot, all right, everything. If she complains, moans, groans, okay? If every time she gets a little sneeze, she has a reason she can't go to work. See how tough she is. How well does she hold up? How tough is she? That's what you want to see. It's like the video I did just the other day. With the gal who, can't seem to go to work. How tough is this gal? You don't know how tough she is. You have no idea how tough this woman is. You just know that she could rack up a whole lot of debt. That should be a red flag there.
And you can back your hours back down where you can breathe again. But both of you...
No, he doesn't have to do it. She has to do it. He can breathe just fine. He got his oxygen mask. Hell, he's probably got enough oxygen mask for everybody on the plane. She needs to be the one holding her breath. She needs to be the one calling in. She needs to do it. Why isn't she calling in? If this is supposed to be a joint thing, why aren't they both on the phone together? I mean, I've never heard two people on the phone at once, but sometimes on a rare occasion you hear, oh yeah, my spouse is sitting here right here next to me. Why isn't she the one calling in? See, this is the issue that I have is, these young love couples. And for whatever reason, it just seems to always be it's not always, but oftentimes it's the guy, okay, who has the less debt, picking up the woman with all this debt, usually in some fine arts degree. Hey, at least this isn't some liberal fine arts degree, okay? Kudos to that. But he's not the one that should be calling in. The wrong person is calling in. She should call in.
You're going to be working like maniacs, and you're going to live on nothing, and you're going to drain every account that's not a retirement account. You're going to throw it at this after the honeymoon, and you guys are living on a budget that's beans and rice and beans, and she's working all the time.
There is going to, this is just, my thoughts. I could see a young person who has worked so hard to build up these finances having possibly in the future a bit of grudge. It will take everything he has worked up and then some to get them out of debt. Imagine giving up everything you have worked for, everything, to get the account down, and you're still possibly sitting on $100,000 debt. Yeah. And I know Dave's making it sound like it's supposed to be the joint mutual thing, but if I were him, I wouldn't touch it. Like I said, not until it's down to 100,000. 100,000, then okay, and she's proven it. And then with the money he has, if he's like, okay, I'll sacrifice that part. Like I said, I had 100,000. I had $110,000 student loan. I wasn't been surprised as some guy had said to me, "No, I'm not interested in you." I mean, hopefully, it was said it nicely. I mean, but it would not have surprised me. I would have been like, you know what, I can't blame you. And I had less than a third of that.
Until she cleans this mess up.
He says until she cleans the mess up, but who does he keep dragging in? The guy. So which is it? Is he supposed to help clean it up with her, or is he supposed to step out, let her do it? I'd say step out, let her do it. Step out. Completely let her do it. If she can't get the debt down, and or she's not willing to work to get the debt down, okay, either way, the debt needs to drop. If she can't get the debt down, he has to come to the realization that everything he has is going to have to pay that debt. She comes with zero asset. She's a huge financial liability. In my opinion, too big of a liability to take on in a relationship at $340,000 with no other assets. Again, it's about assets. You can come with $350,000 in debt, but do you have an asset that would clear out most of it? Some people have houses, whatever, okay? Stocks, bonds. Okay, it's not just the $350,000 student loan we're looking at. It's what does she have that would clear it? It's like, okay, I had a $110,000 student loan, true. But I also have a condo that's paid for. So that would have that would have, not potentially, it would wipe out the debt. So I did have a little bit of something to lean on if it absolutely had to. She comes, I'm assuming, with absolutely nothing.
Okay.
And then one more thing I want to throw at you. You got capacity for one more?
Absolutely, John.
All right. You agree to this and you walk down that aisle. This is not going to be you versus her.
Wait, he said, I hope they haven't walked down the aisle yet. Okay, it says girlfriend. Okay, so they've not walked down the aisle yet.
This is going to be you with her, right? And so I know guys who like to flex and say, well, if you hadn't and if you had, once you're in, y'all are in this together. And so the shame part's over. Then it's just y'all digging and building. It's not about her digging something out and you just standing there watching it as she digs, right? We're all in this together. Is that fair?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course it's fair. You're 28 years old and you haven't had to go through anything yet. 28 years old, you haven't had to go through anything. And neither really to a certain extent has she. What happens if something occurs and she winds up in the hospital and she can no longer work and this is all yours now? Whole kit and caboodle. What happens if she decides, after a couple kids, she goes, this isn't the right relationship for me, and she wants out, and the student loan has barely been touched on? Oh, to be young and in love and think nothing of pessimism. I just fear that at the age of 28, the other thing you're going to be looking at that I could see building up a little bit of a grudge is you look at the people around you and they're not strapped with that type of debt. And there's going to be a certain sense of, geez, I'm working this hard. When you're young and in love and naivety surrounds you, all right, I think it's easy to go, of course. And of course she's in. She's not dumb. She's got a meal check that loves her. She ain't stupid. She's not going to say, oh, well, I'm not willing to work that hard. Oh, hell no. I'd be like, oh, no, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I will work 100 hours a week. I will do whatever it takes. Just marry me. And I'll give you another tip that I would look at. How demanding is she about the size of the wedding? If this woman, if you said to her, honey, we need to put everything that we have into your debt, okay? I recommend that we have a simple church wedding, invite some close family and friends, maybe, meet up at a little white chapel somewhere, okay? Before I got divorced, that's how I was married, okay? No frills at all right? Didn't even wear a wedding dress. So if you think about it, see how she responds to a low budget wedding. Okay. Hey, honey, you know what? I was thinking, let's just keep our wedding really low key. We're sitting here on $350,000 student loan debt, and and I know that we are both in agreement that we really want this debt to be paid off. So I recommend that we just simply invite your parents. We can fly them in from wherever they're at, and we limit it to that. And maybe even get married at one of our childhood homes, if our parents still live there or whatnot. And let's just keep it really simple and low budget. We don't need to send out a bunch of cards and buy a bunch of flowers. We've all got cell phones and crepe paper. See what she says. If she screams and says, well, absolutely not, I'm not going to have that. I have waited for this dream day. Run, run, run. Run as far, as fast as you can. Make Forrest Gump look like he was walking. Run. Because there is a huge sign, and you're hearing this from a 56-year-old woman, okay? All right? That is the woman you do not want. Try it. Test it. Even if you have $25,000 set aside for your wedding, which I would not use for your wedding, you're sitting on $350,000 worth of loans if you decide, get married as a couple. See what she says. How does she respond to the idea of scaling back a wedding? Honey, we don't need a gown, okay? Let's just keep this real low budget. All right. If we get a gown, we're just going to go, find one that, maybe in the family that somebody already has one, and we can just, size it to fit you. See how she says. See how she responds. And right there will tell you damn near everything you need to know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good, man.
The problem becomes ours and the opportunity becomes ours.
That's right.
Both. And listen, here's the thing. You guys will come out of this so freaking strong.
Oh, man.
And your relationship will be so strong. And
God dang, they're almost sitting in the same la land that this guy is. Oh my Lord.
Your character will be so strong if you bust up into this. But if you screw around with this is a mountain and it'll bury you guys.
That's why I say don't marry until it is down to 100,000. 100,000. Then go, okay, now we'll marry.
That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's got to be like game on.
And all her friends coming out of vet school are going to get new Lexus, and they're going to get new houses, and
exactly.
I think I said something I thought I alluded to something about that earlier, at least I meant to. Yeah. You're going to notice that the people around you that aren't sitting in that debt, yeah, they're on their happy married way, and they're $50,000, student loans. See what her friends say. What are her friends like? I would also look at that too. Okay, what are her friends like? Are her friends, do they have to have the latest, Hermes bag? So maybe it's the pessimistic part of me, but there's a hell of a lot of mountains and rocks and trees and hills to climb, barbed wire, before we can get to this la land that Dave and John seem to be sitting in. I'm sorry, but I don't think they've brought up enough of the pessimistic negativity. It's just me.
That easy times won't bring to your relationship.
Absolutely.
So it's a huge opportunity if you approach it right and you're both fully committed to it.
And she has done nothing to show that she is committed to it other than say, yes, dear, I'm definitely committed. That's about it. And hand you her $350,000 bill.
But it's a huge problem if either one of you are going to be half-butting this thing.
How is it that I can lease a Toyota Corolla at $380 a month and Ramsey would hang me out to dry for that? Tell me that leasing is fleecing and I'm getting ripped off, and how could I possibly consider leasing a car? Which I love leasing a car, and I'm going to do it a third time too next year. But he would hang me out to dry. But this, and I've said it, but this is okay? I come with my $350,000 student loan. I find some young, slightly, I'm not saying he's naive, but just slightly innocently naive with good intentions, beau. But yet I'm hung out to dry because I lease a car that does not cost me $4,000 a month in interest. Yeah, something to think about. Now, if you really want to put it in perspective, I drive a Toyota Corolla. I could, my payoff is $16,000 if I want to purchase it at the end, which I have no intentions of purchasing. And I've owned cars for years, so don't all go right and going, but owning is so much better than it is to lease. Okay, I've owned a car for years and years and years, decades. It sucked. Okay. Once I got financially able to lease, I just love leasing. All right. So it's just a personal choice. I don't drink. I don't go golfing. All right. I don't run up $350,000 student loans. I only ran up one for $110,000. But I don't know. It's just sometimes kind of interesting to me how Ramsey will go like, "Oh, young man, please walk off the cliff with this young lady. Just make sure you're holding her hand tightly while you do." Okay, but yet I go and I lease a Toyota Corolla in baby blue, and somehow or another I have just, committed the world's worst crime. Actually, the worst crime are committed by those, I think, to Ramsey, who buy whole life insurance. So they got me beat.
So you're like blaming her, or she's like going to be a little princess or whatever.
Oh, no. There will come a point in their relationship where he's going to feel the itch of he's giving more than she is. It's inevitable. I'm sorry, this ain't no Disney fairy tale where we're just gonna skip all the way through the sunset and the rainbows until this $350,000 is paid off. It's not gonna happen. There's going to be times. It's inevitable. It's life. It's realistic.
with a vet coat on. I mean, no, you got run away. That's the thing. If that
I stand by it. Tell her you want a $1,000 wedding and see how she reacts. Tell her you want a $1,000 wedding. We'll have some Cheez-Its and crackers. Triscuits and Wish cheese on a plate. Paper plates. Okay, we won't go all the way down to paper plates. You can go to Walmart and get those pretty, it looks like plastic, Dollar Tree stuff. See what she says. How does she respond to it? Because I can pretty much tell you that if she says, we're never doing that because of the image, think here, because of the image it gives about her to her family and friends, there is your sign, do not marry, because she's worried about the image that somebody else has of her. If the image that other people have of her is important to her and she poo-poos the idea of a $1,000 wedding, oh hell, make it generous. Give her a $5,000 wedding. There you go, $5,000. All right, okay, inflation. See what she says. And if she says, well, I'm not doing that. I've waited my whole life and all my friends and family have to come see me at my wedding day. No. I'm not saying in the relationship. What I'm saying is don't touch it till that bill gets down to $100,000 minimum. See, I would seriously tell, if I were this guy's buddy, friend, sister, even gal pal, that's what I would do. Say how to see how she reacts. And if she goes, what are my friends and family going to think? We can't look like that in front of them. Right there, you have your answer. Because remember, like I said earlier, working hard to get the degree and sacrificing is a totally different thing than working hard to pay off a student loan bill that's going to be $4,000 to $5,000 a month.
that's the case, but I don't think.
And that's $4,000 to $5,000 in interest. Interest before you even dip into the principal.
That's her. I think she's special, and I.
She's special because she's coming in with $350,000 student loan, and I'm a loser because I lease a Toyota Corolla. Keep that in mind, people. Keep that in mind.
I know you are after talking to you.
Yeah.
So I think you guys can do it, but this is the parameters. This is the boundaries by which.
And he doesn't think I can afford a Toyota Corolla. Really, seriously? If I had a conversation with Dave and said, "Hey, Dave, I want to buy off this car. Okay, it's $16,000 for me to pay it." For me just to buy it outright, okay? He would say, leasing is fleecing. You're being taken to the cleaners. How could you do that? It's cheaper to buy a car, yada, 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 okay? But let me put this in perspective. Her interest on this student loan bill, hers, not his, her interest, minimum $4,000 a month. For me to purchase my little midnight blue car, $16,000, 4, 8, 12, 16. 4 months of her interest would buy off my car at the end of the lease. Yeah, can I get an amen? Thank you very much.
I had my
And
elbow.
that's why you're here on the back of this mountain, and we own the whole stinking mountain, and you're doing your marshmallow here, kid.
And I'm going to be going, and back in the day when Ramsey told me that leasing a car sucked, well, I didn't listen to him, and I went ahead and I leased my Toyota Corolla, and then I bought the sucker.